GM, welcome to episode 5 of Run It Back with Daila. It is Monday, June 17th, and we are still way deep in the throes of wild celebrity meme coins. Everybody's fighting. I don't know who's fighting Ansem this week. But anyway, it's been a complete shit show. Let's not even pretend it's not. But there have been some pretty awesome things going on in this space as well. So one of those things is karate combat, which I've been really excited about. And through karate combat, I've gotten to know one of my newer favorite women in Web3, Ellie, who is a phenomenal fighter. She's been in the space already, based as fuck. She does gaming content, and she's just awesome. So I'm excited to have her on, talk a little bit about what's going on in the space, talk about her, and she's doing some pretty awesome things with the funds that she's raising through her fights. So I definitely want to talk about that. But I think she's backstage. What is up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. Are you in Florida?
No, I just arrived in Las Vegas yesterday.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, that looks like the outside of my house. So like, it looks like my window.
Well, I've been meaning to tell you something. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right?
No, I flew into Vegas yesterday to get my MRI because unfortunately Canada is just, it's like a 3-month waiting period or something. So flew back. The boys are taking care of, it's windy. Okay. The boys are taking care of it. So I came over here, going to train with them a little bit. I'm literally here for 2 days, get my MRI, and then go back to Canada.
And so how are you healing up? I know we were on a space last week and you were pretty good, like moving around. I don't know how. Like I'd be dead for months.
Things are going really, really well. It's been crazy because like just yesterday, right now I'm able to walk with no brace on, with nothing. I've got like a little bit of a limp from time to time when my leg locks up. But other than that, yesterday we tested it out. I went for a run with Keith and Pi, just in case my leg gave out on me again. I did have them to carry me back, but it didn't happen. So we ran, I think it was like 4 miles or something like that for the first time on my leg. And it was great. I don't know, maybe it was just, it dislocated. I'm not sure, but it's amazing how it went from what we all saw to only 2 weeks later, I'm able to run again. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully nothing. But yeah.
I mean, so just to catch the audience up, if you weren't at Karate Combat or if you didn't know what was going on in Karate Combat, Ellie was there fighting and you got up at one point and I just saw your leg twist and you go down. And it was like the most heartbreaking feeling because like everybody was just like screaming your name and it was just like, oh my God, what just happened? Um, and like I honestly I was like, holy shit, what if it's like she can't fight for a while? Like how severe is it? How long does this go? Because somebody tears an ACL and they're like done sports sometimes. And that's a really severe thing. So to hear that you're recovering so well is like honestly, you deserve it. It's good karma. So like I'm glad that it's happening. And it's awesome because like I said, I wake up and I sleep wrong and I can't like turn my head for fucking weeks. So it's just
I
like
know. We've been hearing like so many mixed reviews, right? So there's been, when I first got out of the pit, like when it happened, for those who don't know, she fell on my knee in the first fall was in the first 10 seconds or something. And that's when the issue started. It popped out, or it just popped in general. And I wasn't able to use that leg for the last bit of the fight. But then you can hear when they were doing the commentary that they're like, oh, that's the ACL. She's going to be out for like 8 or 9 months, this and that. And, now we're working with it. There are some other things where it's like, I had Ross Levine take a look and he said, you might be able to walk on it. People can go without it. But if you want to be a professional athlete, you do need to make sure that you get it fixed. So we are still looking at that. The possibility that maybe it is something that's still torn, I'm able to just push past it. If that's the case, I think I will do surgery just because I do know I want to continue going professional. And if it's not professional in MMA, it will be professional in something. It's just my personality. It's what I've always done. I'm not ready to give up on that yet. But I don't know. I think we're gonna be okay. Like I've got full mobility right now. It's like nothing happened, which is so frustrating because if I'm gonna go down in a situation like that, it better be life or death, and that's not the case.
I mean, I'm glad that that you're recovering the way you are now, right? And I get it. It's probably like it's just like, all right, if I'm gonna be down like this, then like, kill my
It better be fucking serious.
like I get it.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm walking around. I'm like, "Are you serious? Why?"
Yeah.
Like, thank God. But yeah. Anyways.
But honestly, okay, hear me out for a second. I low key think that it might have been good in the way that it really if you would have won, it would have been phenomenal. If you would have whooped her
Mhm.
ass, like everybody would have been cheering. But there's something about seeing somebody come back from that and just seeing somebody be like, yeah, it's fucked. It sucked. But I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm done with this. There's no way. I don't want to risk hurting myself more. You're like, no, I'm going to like get up and get better. And it changed in a matter of weeks. And that like, I think especially in this space, speaks to a lot of people because everything's so crazy and you can be like in the complete shitter and lose it all 1 week and sometimes want to give up and then you make one good play or something pops off and it's those little things that kind of keep you going. So it's like kind of like that meme of the guy like mining for diamonds.
Yeah.
What I mean? So I think it's pretty good testament to your resilience
Never
because
really thought of it that way.
a minute, right?
Yeah. Thanks. That's a great way to look at it. I mean, like, I could have taken it one of two ways. One of which could have been like, oh, it's karma, or, why does it have to be this way, or anything else. But it's interesting because my mindset instantly, I mean, not 100% of the time, don't get me wrong, but instantly went, it just wasn't my time.
Yeah.
And I think I was not expecting, if you would have told me beforehand, this is what's going to happen to you, I would be so mad and I'd be blaming the world. I'd be angry and everything else. But that's not the case, actually. Um, I mean, it's unfortunate. Anyone would say it's unfortunate, but I'm just kind of seeing it as it wasn't my time. Okay. Well, what am I getting out of this? So far, obviously the charity, we raised tons of money. The amount of people that I've met and the relationships I've built, one of which is my team. I built a family out of it, which is amazing. I'm here at their house now, and um, it's it's been amazing. And I'm really glad that I came out with so much more than I ever expected to.
Yeah,
So
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, 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 that was it. That was it.
No, it's just like it really was like it kind of gave like pause for reflection. It's like, damn, like she really is like a resilient, badass woman. Like the fuck? Like I was like I am more impressed by just the determination to recover than I think I would have been by a win. To be keep it 100% and be honest with you,
Thank
because
you.
it is hard. And like just being a woman in Web3 in general, because you've been in the space for a minute. You do gaming content as well, so it's not like you just came in and you're like, I don't know anything about the space at all. Let me just, throw myself into the pit. Like you already had kind of a relationship with the space, right? How long
Yeah.
have you been making gaming content?
Oh gosh. Definitely less than a year. I would say like maximum 8 months. And everything kind of hit off after GDC in April. So I've only been known since April.
Yeah.
So
Eight months is like 10 years in CT time. So
yeah, that's true. That is very true.
that's a
Yeah.
long last time.
Overall though, it's just like within just that time, the amount of support that I had, like I mentioned this on the other space, the amount of support that I had both in and out of the pit was extremely impactful. You could feel it. Everybody else could feel it. And it's that really shows, like win or loss, just the amount that everyone cared and how much they were involved in everything. So it's amazing how everything turned out.
Yeah. I mean, like it's one thing to come back physically, but like and I'm trying to relate this to like the degen experience, because it's, but I've had like, serious illness and surgeries and stuff like that, but you can recover physically, but there's like this kind of thing when you're like in it, it's that mental hurdle you have to get to even want to do it.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how you did that and so publicly. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of attention and a lot more people. It's just like, what are you gonna do? What's going on? So what was that like? I don't know, first few days like until you were like, all right, this is manageable.
Um, I think it's just been so busy, honestly, but it wasn't really even that hard. I had so much support, so much, and especially from my team. I mean, I had Pi with me for I think 3 days afterwards,
He's
and
such a rider.
oh my, he's such a great person to have in your corner. I mean, everything, I'd wake up and he's like, first off, how are you doing? How are you doing emotionally? How are you doing physically? What can I get you? And then he would just talk to me like, this is what happened. This is how we can fix it. This is what you, and just that building constant reassurance and building like, okay, you have every right to feel upset, but here's how we can look at it. Here's how we can deal with it. And it's just like, that nonstop support. And even when I'd go home, right? Like, so I went back to Canada and I'd get a random message. He's like, hey, just remember to manifest today. Or, the next morning be like, hey, you're that chick. You're the shit. And it's these little messages that you're like, okay, you know what? That's what I need. Here you go. And so, just having, don't get me wrong, everybody else, but especially having my team not just in the corner, but like in my life corner has been a massive pillar for me, because I don't know if I would have been able to get over it as quickly as I did without having them whispering in my ear all these things of being like, it's not your fault. Like, you're going to get back in. All the plans are the same. We're still going to get you into the UFC. We're still going to have you, train with us. And it was like, okay, I had a little hiccup, but my team still has just as much faith in me. The community in the space in crypto still has just as much faith in me. LARPing called me, only LARPing called me and was like, we want you back. So all of the opportunities are still there. Nothing is closed. It's just given me more time. And I think that's what's kind of helped me be like, okay, it sucked. It wasn't my choice that I went down. Um, and that's also something. It wasn't like mentally I was like, oh, I give up, because that might have played with me a little bit more. It was I wanted to fight, but my leg just kept going out on me. So I think that made it a little bit easier.
Yeah. And just for the audience, Pi is Paisan, and he's another gaming content creator, and he's on your team, and this Squid Grow is your sponsor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I saw him, and he was like ready to jump in the pit along with
I
Keith. When yeah,
Wow.
he was like, I'm ready to grab her too. So like I could definitely see him like just kind of being that person. For the few times that I've hung around him, he's just like this amazing like ball of positive energy. So like I don't know. I definitely believe you when you're like, yeah, he was hella supportive. I'm like, I see that motherfucker being like all over it. He's that dude. Is he fighting in Orlando, or is he going to be in
It's yet to be confirmed. Yeah, we're trying to
Mm.
work some stuff out first. But yeah, he doesn't even let you have a possible negative thought. It's like, if I win, he's like, no, 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 we don't talk like that. When? Like, there's no room for negative thoughts. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. I mean, I haven't. I mean, I've been in the space for a while, and people are supportive of each other, but it's different when you make that personal connection. And there are different people in the spaces who really do, like, when they talk to you, like, it's like this person isn't just like feeding me bullshit just to
Yeah.
fuck me up right now. Like, they actually give a shit about me doing well and want to see me thrive. And I think that, like, that's the kind of team you have. Keith has been that guy in the space forever. I've known him longer than Paisan, and he's always been that more positive, supportive. Hey, anything you need me to do, I've got you. And yeah, hell yeah, you've really lucked out. But that kind of is a testament to the kind of person you are, because, like, vibe attracts your tribe. So like,
I mean, they
good on you
handpicked me.
guys.
I'm more grateful for it.
But I wanted to ask. I know you had mentioned before, but you were an athlete before Web3. So,
Yeah.
like, this isn't like this kind of intensity isn't new. You
No.
you did rugby, right?
Yeah. So I played rugby professionally, and obviously it's a
Fucking
little bit different.
wild, by the way.
um, yeah, I played rugby professionally for years. It's a little bit different because it's a team sport. Uh, but yeah, I played nationals in Canada. I played AFL in Australia for nationals as well. And then when I moved to Thailand, I played for Team Thailand. So I've been playing for quite some time. And then eventually I kind of enjoy doing Muay Thai better and made that transition.
Oh, that makes how long did you fight? Not fight, play for?
15-ish years.
Damn,
Yeah. Yeah, I played for a
15
good.
years.
Yeah. Before
Jeez.
that, I played American football. So
Like, not for nothing, you don't look old enough to have played anything for 15 years. So, like, shit. I gotta step my game up. God damn. Like, got me like legitimately got me like, I was like, damn, like, she really is just kind of like do it everything, like this superhero character. She's like in spaces, she's making content. Oh, and she could just beat the shit out of people, and she just does
casually.
it for fun. She's just, you run into people for fun. The fuck. But I mean, what's it like? And again, like, the space has lots of women in it, and it's obviously a lot more than there were a couple years ago, but there aren't a lot of women, like, in gaming particularly.
Yeah.
And there sure as shit aren't a lot of women, like, that are active in the space in karate combat or in active, like, a competitive fighting. So, like,
Yeah.
is that like a what, like, a weird kind of thing, like, because that, how do you connect to, like, other content creators when they're like, okay, well, yeah, this is kind of like more fluffy, and like, even me, is like comedic, entertaining, and then it's just, you're just like on a whole different, like, intensity, like.
I think like I don't know. I think at least that I have two different personalities that I can kind of chime into. I've got the really aggressive side when I need to be, but for the most part, I mean, I think we saw at the event or honestly within my content, if you look at my content, you look at me at events, I'm this like super bubbly human golden retriever, very friendly and just super energetic. And then you put me in the pit or on the field and I can kill you in 2 seconds. But then I can chime back off and go like super fun. And so I think for the gaming content and for any other kind of content, you don't see the aggressive, I don't think, at least I could be wrong, but you don't see the aggressive side. You see the super fun side. And I think that's how I'm able to stay relatable to things. Like I can take the piss out of myself all day long. Like I will find the comedic side of pretty much everything.
Mhm.
And when I need to chime into the aggressive side, which is not often, then you can go back into it. But even when you watch like my training videos or anything like that, I'm dead serious, and then 2 seconds later I'm giggling, laughing, playing around, like so it
But
just
how did you get into doing, like, gaming content to begin with?
I was forced into it actually. So I have a good friend of mine, George in the Meta, who some of you might know from games, Poker
Mhm.
Starter Games, and I was having, it was during the last bear market. I was having a hard time getting a job. And he's like, sit down, play this game, and just try it. And so he forced me down. He made me play the game. He did the editing for me, and we posted it. I think I had like less than 100 followers or something like that. And within like 20 minutes, and this video is 30 seconds. Within 20 minutes of me posting it, the CEO reached out to me, and he's
Holy
like,
shit.
"Hey, like what you doing? This works, whatever." And then I was like, "All right, well, this seems to be my only shot." So I continued making free content, and then it started picking up more and more, and that's how it came to it. Am I good at
Damn.
gaming? Not
Damn,
great.
that's pretty awesome.
But
Like
it's
I've
still
heard a lot. I've heard like I've had so many people tell me they're like, like what's really lucrative right now is like gaming content and stuff
yeah,
like that. Like I hadn't gotten into it because honestly, like I feel like it's not something that I do as much outside of like when because I play with my kids,
yeah,
so it's like to me it's just like I'm not there, so I'm like, oh well, it'd be hard for me to play these games that my son can't play.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta figure out a way to like make that work, like maybe after the summer when school is back and it's just like,
Right?
yeah, and there's
It's
not
not something you can just pick up. Like you have to have a skill set. And do not get me wrong. Ask anyone. I will 100% be like, listen, I know you want to sponsor me, but I'm not good at gaming. You're gonna find out now or find out later. I'm
yeah.
not good at gaming, but I am funny, and it just works out in my favor because I think the what I've heard at least is the part that I'm kind of able to bring in is that new side because a lot of these gamers they're popular because they're good. So you're seeing experienced players do it, but you're not seeing that beginner side of things. So that's kind of the aspect I come in, but also at the same time completely making fun of myself.
Yeah, I think
So
that's important because like I think that really has alienated a lot of like more, I guess, I don't want to say mainstream web3 content creators, but
pretty
non-gaming content
much.
creators because it's like they don't want to suck on camera. I don't want
Yeah.
to suck on camera. Like just like keeping
Yeah.
it at 100. It's like I don't want to be shitty and then like have people clown me and fucking replies and tell me how bitch I know how shitty I am. Like you know what I mean? Like
We need to play sometime and don't worry, I'll make you look good.
all right.
There we go.
Yeah, I think like that. It's intimidating, but
Yeah.
if it's something you're saying like you got in and you're like so open about being like, yeah, I'm not good at this and I'm just having fun with it. I think that's why it kind of speaks to an audience because I don't know, it is a really competitive space. So you want to be the best at everything and like
Yeah.
okay yeah no I'm cool I know everything about gaming and shit like that and it's just like I don't want to be you know the walking into the cafeteria like on the first day of school with my lunch tray kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, for
that
sure.
vibe.
I mean, you're coming in as a girl, you've already got it. Like, either you don't do it or you embrace it. And that's kind of it. And my best content is honestly me screwing up. That like me having little like brain melts where I can't pronounce a word and it's a super simple one. Like those are the things that do the best. The best where I'm like 100% making fun of myself and sitting in it is where I don't know, I guess what people enjoy seeing because it's relatable. Like
So
half the
which games are you playing when you're streaming?
um so I have kind of taken a break since Karate Combat, to be honest. So I play a lot of like WAGMI.
Mhm.
I'm playing WAGMI. I'm playing a lot of AVAX games as well, just like checking out pretty much everything on their ecosystem, which they've got so many great games on there. Um, Forgotten Playland, uh, Moonray. All these games are ones that I do try to play quite often. But as I mentioned, like I had to kind of slow down because I was training. So we're hoping to
Yeah.
pick it back up soon.
I mean, AVAX, honestly, I didn't really know much about AVAX, and maybe that's just because of the echo chamber I'm in, but it's like quickly kind of establishing itself as like this is a gaming chain.
Oh, for
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like I feel like when I see AVAX, that's what I think of is like gaming. That's it. Like I'm like that. This
Yeah.
is like I mean, and they were integrating Socialfy and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's still gaming. It's still kind of along the same line. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
what
they've
else
got
was
a
I
few
saying?
different aspects of things, but they are trying to, zone in and get into the gaming side of things because they do want to be the gaming blockchain, really. I mean, everybody does, but I think they're doing really well with it with some of the games that are building that are being built on them right now.
Yeah, I
They
definitely
totally
think
love it.
they started like I don't know, started earlier, I guess, with
Yeah.
more established games. So it's kind of um yeah, they're like the ones to beat. Like there's a bunch of different games and new like layer twos that are kind of coming out and they're like, yeah, we're about gaming, but they're so established already
Yeah.
that um it's kind of like a slam dunk. Not that I'm plugging one blockchain over another or no shit about fuck. I'm just saying, like when you think of a chain and you think automatically of gaming, then it's like it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. But before I even forget, because this is really important to me, and this is like what we were talking about in the space, and super impressed me is the causes that you're raising money for.
Mm.
So the last one was human trafficking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that was from Karate Combat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
So go ahead.
no, go ahead. That's why I want to know about it.
Yeah, so I guess I can do like a quick. Let me know if it's too windy. I can go inside, by the way.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
good.
know if that's affecting the mic.
That's good.
Okay. So I can do like a quick overview of pretty much of what Bandoi is and then how I integrated it into Karate Combat. Bandoi pretty much is an organization that. Oh.
What happened? What happened? What the fuck
I
is
don't know, but
going
I feel like we're gonna have Toto jumping around in this little. Jeez. Okay. I'm gonna with a witch underneath the house soon. Um.
If you want to go inside, you can. I don't give a shit though. It's fine. You sound good.
All right, well, if that's the case. Inside, we've got 3 other people making content, so we're
Before
all
like
trying to
a
find different
chair
places.
falls and like flies across the screen and like knocks down.
That right there is a clip.
You're like, nah, I'm fine. Out.
um, Bandoi. So yeah, pretty much what Bandoi is they're an organization that helps. They're technically an orphanage that focuses on very underprivileged families and kids who have who have been involved or at the highest risk of sex trafficking in Southeast Asia. So they're over by the Golden Triangle, which is Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. And yeah, Laos, Myanmar, I think. Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand. Cambodia is somewhere else. My bad. Don't judge me on that one.
It's okay. I
And
didn't know. So like you could have kept with it, and I'm like, yeah, sure, sure, that's what it is.
perfect. Cool. That's what I meant. But pretty much like they try to come in Thailand because Thailand has all the foreigners and it's kind of known to be like the golden opportunity. And they traffic a lot of children in, and especially Thailand being known for like the sex tourism country, that's where they go. But what they do is right by there, they season the kids, aka they like break them in to what to expect when getting into the sex industry. And this orphanage is so close by that what they do is they rescue the kids and get them out of it, and they provide things like an education, the typical education we know, math, science, whatever. But they also do like agriculture and cooking and pretty much anything that can get them outside of that circle, that loop of sex trafficking. Um, and it's not just that, but they do things like scholarships. I've seen kids go to Australia and go to all just through donors being able to provide and help them with this. They also take in like families where they're not necessarily an orphan, but they'll take kids and bring them in, give them an education. They can go back, continue to help with their family. But this Bandoi is for those who are extremely underprivileged. So all the funds just go back into giving them a normal childhood and give, helping them get the things they need to stand on their own 2 feet once they're outside of it. And it's absolutely amazing what they do. Like I said, I've been working with them and their sister company for quite some time, so I've seen a lot of things firsthand. And I've watched kids grow up. I've watched them become lawyers, doctors, all of these different things, and it's been amazing. So, what I did with Karate Combat is, I guess, step back. What I've done with all of my fights, I've had 14 fights before, and I've always done them as any money that I make, any announcements that I make, I've always gone like to them. So Karate Combat was too big of an opportunity. I was like, how can we integrate this? And came up with the auction side of things where we'll auction off a space on the Fight Night shirt, which gets seen by tons of people. I was so lucky to be introduced to Mike Miller, who is known for his uh, comic books with DC Comics, Marvel, Game of Thrones. Like, he's very well known in the space. And he was introduced to me by Shiptoshi from Squid Grow. He made the NFTs, and the NFTs were auctioned off. And overall, we made $30,000 to be donated towards Bandoi to help getting children out of sex trafficking.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved with them? Like, how did you start there? Is it when you were there, like playing rugby, and you came like in contact with it, or?
So it was interesting, actually. I was going for a walk down a pretty popular tourist street, and I saw a bookshop. And this bookshop had a book that just said, sex trade or something like that. And so I got the book, started reading, and it's all about like the psychology, like pretty much everything from point A of how it happens, how the traffickers convince some of the psychology of the men who buy children, the effects psychologically that it has on kids, the after effects of being in it, like all of these different things. It just talks about everything. And through it, there were a few organizations that mentioned it. And I contacted these organizations, and I had one reach out called Daughters Education Program. And I said, listen, I read this book. It was the most infuriating and emotional read I've ever had. I remember throwing it across the room, being so angry, picking it back up, crying more, throwing it, like super emotional. And I said, how can I help? And uh, he said, come over. And I worked with them. His name's Sampup, Kun Sampup. And sorry, he
Now
is.
you're getting raided.
I know, right? We've got everything going on. But he is a 3-time Nobel Peace Prize winner nominee.
Damn.
And I got to work hand on hand. He's like a dad to me now. It's amazing. But their organization, just through like COVID and everything, they're kind of falling and they're unable to keep up with things. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to merge them over with Bandoi, and trying to give them, pretty much trying to make sure that one doesn't collapse and lose everything, but they're able to bridge over. Bandoi is quite established. And yeah, so I've been working with Daughters Education Program for maybe like 6 years, and then Bandoi for maybe 2.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So you mean tell me, like, you read a book, and it bothered you, and instead of like just like bitching about it and telling people, oh, I just read this sad book, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do something about it?
Yeah. I
The fuck,
contacted
Ellie? Who does that? Damn.
I
That's so
contacted
badass.
when I could in
I'm gonna
there.
take a break on that shit. Nobody does, like, people don't do that. People aren't so driven and see a problem and want to fix it, and that fucks my day up. That you're just like, no, I can. Why not? Like, why don't I make a phone call? What can I do about it if this bothered me that much? And
Yeah.
that initiative, like, again, I'm gonna have my fangirl moment. It's fucking my shit up. It's fucking awesome. It
Yeah.
really is, dude.
I mean,
like,
it's been amazing to even just watch them at like, and it's not that I've really done much. I've organized a few English camps. I've talked about it, whatever else. But I'm not the person who's doing it every single day. I'm not the person who's living on site. I'm not the one who's organized. Like, they are the true heroes in all of this, because without them, it wouldn't be running. All I'm doing is I'm just being a voice in English. That's
yeah.
it. So,
Well,
I mean,
I'm sure like 30K was what didn't hurt.
I yeah, it's great.
That's a
But
big
again,
deal. We talk about like 30K, we talk about millions of dollars in every day as if they aren't a lot. But you think of 30K, and that's more than
especially in Thailand.
Most people make in a year in Thailand. Like, that's crazy. So that, like, it's gonna go so much farther than it could here naturally. So it's massive. So is that like kind of your intention? Like, you're using, this more fighting platform? Because I didn't know about it, obviously. And I didn't realize that this organization even existed. So is that kind of your intent, to use like this platform to just bring more awareness and like kind of be able to support it more through this fighting? Or do you want to go like in a few different directions with different philanthropic things? Like, or are you just like, this is where I'm at and I'm running with this one?
No, so I think overall the reason why I wanted a platform is, of course, like I mentioned in the other space, is every, it pays the bills. It's good. I get to play video games and with friends and get paid. I mean, like, that's everyone's dream job. It's awesome. But that's not the reason why I'm doing it. The core reason of why I'm doing it is because I've learned very quickly that having a platform can do so much more, right? Like, within 6 years of me working with these organizations, I've raised more in 2 weeks, we'll say a month, with karate combat than I have in 6 years completely. So that's all just within having a little bit of a platform. So as I continue to grow, I can continue to be like, hey, I know we don't like these things, but here you go. Like, exactly like you said, you've never heard of it before. And I'm so blessed to be in a position that I can shed light on these things. And it's not going to continue to stay just Bandoy. I mean, that will always be there. But I guess my goal is to figure out a way that I can promote different things. Like, when I was younger, my original, because I've always had something that I've worked towards. So when I was younger, I was raised in a kids cancer camp, and I've always done a lot of charities, a lot of, speaking events and things like that. So it's something that I've always been very familiar with. And when I moved to Thailand, it went from focusing on kids cancer research and everything else, but now going to sex trafficking. But through this, I've met St. Jude's, and they're a kids cancer research facility. So it all just kind of looped back together. Now I'm working with them. We've got a really cool event that we're trying to stir up right now, which hopefully will come in the next few months. It's all just, everything's coming together. I got in contact with a domestic violence organization who wants to work as well. Like, it's different angles that we're looking at. So I don't think it's going to just stay one. I think it's going to be, you come and see my content, it's going to be gaming, it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be, different topics of things that we should at least notice that goes on in life every single day.
So run that back for me. You said you were raised in a kids cancer camp?
Yeah, yeah, but that sounds weirder when you say that out loud.
Well, no, you said it out loud, like.
No, um so my brother had cancer when he was quite young, and the way that this camp works is that they see it as the kid doesn't have cancer, the whole family is impacted by it, right? So I was always going to camp, and I had lots of friends who were very sick, who, some passed, some made it, you know so many fun stories with it too. Like, I remember we had a I remember we had one time where the event was, you have to get your canoe from one side of the lake to the other side of the lake, but you can't use an oar. So you had 5 minutes to run around the campsite and grab what you can, and this one kid came with nothing. And we're like, well, what are you going to use? And he takes off his prosthetic leg, he puts it in the water, he just starts going. And it's that kind of fun that you're like, okay, this is awesome.
I'm just imagining some kid on a canoe whipping off his prosthetic leg and using it as oar.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, it's just so much fun. But like, this is how I was raised with it. And I'm like, of course, like, these are the things that you want to have continue going on. You don't want the funds to stop, because you don't want the camps and the organizations and the research to stop. So it's always given that drive. So I've always had like a quite a colorful, um, quite a colorful, I don't know, like, childhood.
yeah, I mean, I'd
Um,
say so. Like, I've never heard somebody say I was raised in a kids cancer camp. I'm like I needed a second because I'm like, I don't know how to process that. I don't know what that
yeah,
means.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, it gives you that drive because you're able to see it firsthand, and be like, this is what's worth putting in the effort to do charities. This is what's worth, putting your neck on the line to talk about these things. And that's it. When you see, I mean, when you go, okay, kids cancer and sex trafficking, those are really heavy topics. But when you get inside of it, you realize the kids are having fun. There's good things that, they're having fun together, they're learning, and then you've got the, you know, the stories that I just mentioned at the camps, and it's that fun side that makes you realize everything is worth the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it now it really does make sense like that you can just like take everything with a grain of salt and find the humor in anything, because when you're raised around, you know, severe illness and sad things where you have to kind of create your own happiness, and that's what you live in every day, and that's what you're
Yeah.
nurtured around is, you know, life is what you make it. Well damn, that's kind of that's gonna kind of produce a rock star. Like, what the fuck? The fuck, Ellie? Like
Yeah.
everything you say is just so fucking awesome. I know it sounds cheesy and like I'm not trying to kiss your ass, but it really is so fucking cool. Because
Thank
how
you.
many times like I've seen spaces about things like domestic violence and trafficking, and people don't go to the spaces because people don't want to talk about it.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
And to see you saying, yeah, no, not I do gaming content, and you do have a fun, bubbly personality, you're easygoing, and you're able to raise funds for something so heavy, and still be like, yeah, this can just be an aspect. It doesn't have to be like, okay, let me just kind of you know, martyr myself for this cause and not talk about anything else, but like making it a part of, yeah, this is something people can support. Like, it doesn't have to disturb your life. It doesn't have to disturb, like, you know, your trading. If you just take 10 minutes out of your day to pay attention to like the rest of the world around you
Yeah.
and actually like give a shit, like
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get that lighthearted side to it, because if you turn around and be like, oh, things are happening, like, and you keep going down that dark side, no one's gonna want to give you the time of day, because that stuff sucks. But if you look at it and go, okay, yeah, these kids have had a hard time in their life, you can either focus on that, or you can give them more of the bright times of their life. And that's the aspect that I want. I want to be like, hey, listen, yeah, these kids have been trafficked. These kids have been, you know, very, very sick. Yeah, that's true. But what can we do to give them the better parts of life? Let's give them an education. Let's give them these, you know, amazing experiences where you bring people in or you send them to Disney. Or let's focus on the bright side and what we can do to give them more of that instead of more of the negative side of things. They already know the negative side of it, so let's give them that positive side. And that's what I want to bring out of these things.
I mean, that's fucking awesome. What does your family think of all this stuff that you do? Like,
I don't know.
or is it just like, oh, that's just Ellie because you've always been like such a dynamic person?
Um, it hasn't always. I don't know. I've been a weird one. When I was younger, I cut my emotions off a lot. Where I was kind of known as just being like the cold-hearted bitch, like you couldn't talk to me, everything. But all it was is that I was so emotionally in tuned with everything, but I didn't want to show it because I saw it as a weakness. So I would still do these fundraisers, but it would look really out of character because here I am, like dark
Just
humor, all of this, and they're like, "Wait a second, that doesn't
straight
look."
resting bitch face, and then be like, I
Yeah,
can see
all right, let's go and save those kids.
it.
Like dead. So it was really weird. But then when I moved to Thailand, I finally realized your weakness isn't showing your emotions. That's your strength, and your strength isn't showing it, but it's what are you going to do about it. And these are the things that I've learned since traveling around the world and experiencing these things. So you can either cry about it or you can cry and do something about it. And when you cry and do something about it, that's where your strength comes from.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I guess.
Fucking Ellie, man.
Yeah, but I mean, my parents are just kind of used to it at this point. They're like, okay, what's your project? Sure, fine. Like,
What's one more thing? Like, I don't know. Like, what's Thanksgiving look like when you have like cousins and shit, and they're like, "What else are you doing?" Oh, this. Like, are they just blown away that you doing this with like crypto, like, you know, magic internet?
I don't think anybody knows about it, to be honest. My family's not
Really?
in tune with what I do. No, my mom had no idea I fought. She messaged me 3 days later and was like, "Oh, Sarah, have you fought yet?" And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm not very close with my family, unfortunately. My dad, yes, but that's it.
I mean, that's family's kind of what you make it, and it seems like
Yeah,
you've kind of been really good at creating your own family and support system. So
they're in the
I'm
house.
there. Listen, I am there with you. I am not close to my biological family at
I'm
all.
so,
So I'm just like, you know, I'm not, because it happens. Like you said,
yeah,
things happen in life, and you know, you have the choice of like being like, boohoo, poor me, and kind of just stewing in
Mm,
it and just being miserable and spiteful, or saying, okay, well, what do I do about it? How
yeah,
do I make it not shitty?
yeah, yeah. What do you take out of it? What can you teach somebody else that might be going through the same situation?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So fucking blow my mind with all the fucking shit you do. I'm like cursing because I was literally like, holy crap. What else are you working on? Like, talk to me about what you're working on, like what games you're doing. Like, let's do the plug and the shill so all these people can give you more money.
I don't
I'm
know. There's
about it. Pay her.
please. No, I don't know. There's honestly not a whole lot going on right now. Well, nothing that I can really talk about. Um, this month has been quite slow. I mean, which is fine by me because I'm traveling around right now. This is my first time back in Canada in like 4 years. So it's a lot of visiting different places. But, I'm working with Avalanche, partnered with them. So I'm working a lot with that. Like I said, like Wagme, Moonray, all of them is who I'm working with. But uh, I guess kind of what came out of karate combat, I was expecting to be more partnerships, which was not the case. It's more charities that have reached out to me. They don't pay, which I'm totally fine with, but it's what's coming out of it, which I'm super, super excited about. Um, and I think we're looking at St. Jude's is going to be the next event. We're looking at doing, hopefully, something very similar to what we did with Bandoy. Um, Raise some money there. Like I'll go myself to the hospital and I'll spend maybe a week or two there with the kids, getting to know them, maybe doing some interviews for those who want to be seen in the space, hanging out, doing artwork, like lots of different things so I can be on site and show what St. Jude's is doing. They're pretty awesome because they've already integrated crypto into their fundraising stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to look at platforms as well of how these fundraising platforms take up so much of a percentage that not many people want to donate through them.
Yeah.
So we're looking at how can we build a platform that doesn't take such a big percentage, that can be that place that people can go and donate and do this. So these are just things that are in the work that we're talking about right now. Nothing very stable at the moment, but the first step is having that conversation. So that's pretty much all that's going on.
Yeah, like that is the thing. Like when you work with larger organizations, because I've seen like bigger, more public organizations, there's such a huge cut that comes for
Yeah.
paying the staff. There's always some big CEO, and they're not going hungry, and they might be able to throw these big galas and do all this stuff, but like it's just like, oh yeah, we raise this funds. It's like, all right, well, is this funds like is half of it going to them, and then the other half going to this other shit because like they could really use a lot more. It's always
Yeah.
been like my hang up with a lot of nonprofits because I worked in the
That's
nonprofit sector for a
everyone's.
while, and it's just like, bro, really? Like,
Yeah. That's everyone's concern. That's everyone's concern, from who wants to donate to those who want to put their organization on the platform. There's a lot of organizations that don't want to do that because of exactly that. There's so much being taken out, which means that they're not able to get their name out there. So if we can find that middle ground where that's not happening, that would be amazing. But
yeah.
again, there's a lot of research figuring out what that even looks like. I don't know.
That's why, I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, and that's like above my pay grade of even thinking. But like,
I'm right there with you.
it's just like, but at least you're the kind of person that's like, hey, this should exist. How do we make it happen? As opposed to saying it should exist. Sucks that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Pretty much. So
So, um, so now like there's other women in the space that have gotten into it, like Ashley now is like training and stuff like that, which to me is phenomenal. And knowing Ashley and seeing her grow in the space and seeing her do these things that like are a challenge and healthy for her. Like she posted earlier today that she's like, she hasn't felt this good in years. She got up and she ran 3 miles, and it's changed her so much. Like, how does it feel knowing that you know, like you're that bitch right now that's like really inspiring other women in this space to be like, yeah, I can push myself out of his comfort zone? Because like all jokes aside, like it really, really is like you've shown a lot of us that's like, you know what, I can be I can have a lot more depth and dimension than what I just do on the timeline right now, and I can take those risks. Like, do you get that sense yet? Is it kicking in? Because if not, I'm gonna kick it in for you. Like,
No, I don't see it like that at all. I think regardless if I were to have gotten in the pit or not, that people would have given it a shot. Um, like I guess I just don't see it that way because I started off as a fighter, so I'm not as relatable to those who have never fought. Right? It's easy to look at somebody in the UFC and be like, "Oh, of course you can do that." I've never fought before, so of course, rather than that's kind of the level as it is now for anyone who hasn't fought. I've been fighting for so long that I don't see them seeing me as overly relatable to them. But don't get me wrong, I'm super excited that they're getting into it. And I will support them 100% of the way. I've been with Ashley. I've taught her a little bit. I was able to train with her a little bit, giving her some tips, tricks, all of that. Um, I love seeing more girls get into it. Uh, I mean, doing stuff like this is very intimidating. Getting into a gym is extremely intimidating.
it is just going, just deciding to be like, okay, I want to make healthy changes is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It really is. So I don't know. Like, there really is just like, to me, there has been a distinct climate shift in seeing people active, and guys aren't shy about posting all kinds of gym pics or whatever, and them more active in the gym, and there's some women that do it, but not more. But there definitely hasn't been like a content creator like you who's like, yeah, no, I make gaming content, and yeah, I'm in the pit too. Like, that's left a huge impression. Fucking massive. It's fucking massive. It's fucking massive. It really, really is. Like,
Thank you.
I do think, like, just telling you straight up, I do think it changes the climate of how even like women can see themselves.
Mm,
Like, moving into space, try different things. Like you just said, you're like, oh, like, I'll be bad at gaming and still do it.
yeah.
So, like, just doing that. And again, like I said, I've known Ashley for a while. So to see her doing this and like thriving, one, to see anybody you've known in the space thriving, like, like your team, like when you see them do well, like, you're like,
It's
good, I'm
exciting.
happy for them, I feel that excitement for them. And she's one of those people I just love to see doing well, because she does deserve it. She works hard. So, like, I know she's in good hands with you guys, because she's not going to be like, you know
Yeah.
dealing with assholes.
Yeah.
But
I think like the biggest thing that I want someone, and I'm hoping they got out of it, is the amount of support that. Like, I guess we.
oh, damn, Ellie, your phone died. Are you there? Hello? There you are. I got you. I can hear you. Hold on. Poor Ellie in the weather.
Oh no,
You
I
good?
can't hear you.
Just put it on speakerphone. Treat it like FaceTime. Who cares?
Say something.
Something?
Oh no, I've lost you.
Oh no! Fuck!
On what happens if I leave?
All right. I don't know what's going on with Ellie's phone. So hopefully she can come back. We're almost at the hour anyway. And yeah, I might seem like extra cheesy and like extra fangirly. I really, really am impressed with Ellie and the type of person she is. And for somebody like me who makes a lot of funny content and just kind of wants to keep it lighthearted, I oh, there you go. I was just
Sorry.
saying how, like, personally it gets intimidating for people like me who make just like more comedic content and want to keep it lighthearted. It's intimidating to say, okay, there's a cause I care about and I want a platform, without saying, well, shit, my audience isn't going to respond well to it, and that the people don't want to hear me talk about this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that is
glad that you're
something
changing that.
is really that is something I really really want to show out of all of this is people who are concerned about that. It's people will be receptive of it. I don't know if people will be receptive of it. So far, it's showing that they have been. But I'm hoping people can go, okay, well, if Ellie can do this and she can raise the money, then, I can give it a shot. I mean, Pi is already talking about his fight, and he wants to do it for Bandoy as well. So we're going to be putting the charity in with his fight that comes up, and you know, that's already a start. That that's already something that we can go about. But if more people, more big accounts can turn around and go, "Hey, I want to help an organization with Alzheimer's." Cool, do it, because we can see people are open to it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's been a big shift, especially coming out of like such a rough bear market, because a lot of us just were fucking broke in the bear market. It was hard. It was
oh,
tough.
you're
Like just
telling me.
being like, I got to make a living so I could stay doing this because I know it's going to pay off eventually, but I got shit I got to pay for now.
Yeah.
And so to see people like now that like, all right, they've made some money in a more bullish market and using that towards things that matter. And most importantly, like I didn't know Paisan was doing that with Bandai as well. I think that's
Yeah.
huge because it speaks volume to have a man draw attention to these things in this way, because it's for as tough as it is for women, then it's like, okay, well, it's not masculine to, talk
You
about
know,
these
yeah.
things.
You've
Yeah.
got the nurturing side, you expect it. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I could definitely see how Paisan not giving a fuck and being like, "Nah, this is important," and it's probably that much more important because it's something important to you, and
Yeah.
you've been so active in it. So that's
It's
damn.
great. Then
You
we've
guys
got
are
Keith.
fucking cute,
Keith is
man.
going to be helping with, well, both Ty and Keith, but they're going to help with St. Jude's as well. And pushing that. And so I've got both the boys willing to help out with pretty much any organization I choose, which is fantastic. So we're able to get like 3 different people all just talking about this stuff, gaining some momentum and all of that. And I'm hoping that, like I said, other big accounts can go, okay, if it's working for them, it can work for us. Because honestly, I went in with the I don't give a shit attitude. If I lose followers, fine. But I'm doing what I know I want to do. And it has worked out in my benefit so much. Like, I'm having this conversation with you. I had a conversation with Gary Cardone. I've Shibtoshi and I are nice and close because of the organization. Like, there's been so many benefits from putting my neck on the line and talking about things like this. So many relationships I never would have had. Like,
Yeah.
anyone can get in the pit, but you don't see as many people talk about the things that I'm talking about. And I hope this shows them that you can gain a lot more out of it than by putting your neck on the line than not.
No, it's big balls. It's bigger balls than I've had. Okay. I'm like keeping it real. Like I haven't been able to do that. I like, like there's plenty of times where I'm like, yeah, I want to do more of this, but then it's like, all right, well, people aren't going to pay attention to it. And that's going to, that's going to throttle my opportunity. And I still have bills I have to pay too. And I still have to make a living. Like
Yeah.
to see you just be like, no, this like I'm about it and I'm just going to go for it. Like it's awesome. And you're right. Like I'm putting it on myself and and other larger, obviously I don't have the largest account, but larger accounts than that. Like we kind of have a responsibility to the world around us. There's a lot that goes into like flexing bags and throwing big events and shit, but the world's a little bit bigger than that. And that's not what, crypto wasn't invented just to party.
Yeah.
So like it really
Utilize
was
it.
created to help real life issues, to make life better. And we're not paying enough attention to that. And I'm glad that you're reminding us that we're not fucking pulling our weight. I'm not pulling my weight. Ellie taught me I'm not fucking pulling my weight.
I mean, hey, if raising $30,000 has shown us anything, it's shown us that people in Web3 do give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's just look at that as it is. And that was only within like a month of prep. What can we do if we actually have something going on? We can do so much. People do give a shit. They do want to help. They do want to put a voice out. Yeah, I think maybe it was me that needed to rock some waves. I don't know, but so be it. It's worked.
You definitely have. Like I haven't seen anybody else I have seen nobody. I don't want to say just woman in the space. I haven't seen anybody move in the space the way you have, and you have grown in your presence really fast, and that's for like a really, really valid reason. Like I'm glad that you do what you do. Like,
Thank
I
you.
get emotional. Like it's so awesome. Like it really, really is. Like I wish I did more like you did. I'm emotional. It really, really is amazing.
Thank you. I
No,
mean, there's plenty of ways if you do want to get involved, or if there's an organization that you enjoy. I mean, like I said, I've been doing fundraising and events and all of these for my entire life. I'm happy for anyone even watching this. Give me a shout. Talk about what you want to do. We can figure out how we can work together, or how I can give you ideas to do what you want to do. I'm always happy to have these conversations. That is what I want my platform to be for. And if it's so much as like, I need an idea how to fundraise, come to me. Love to talk about it.
guys, I cannot even. We're at our hour, and like I'm fuck. You got me so excited. I like, honestly, I love everything you do. I like whatever you need me to do, because like it's so fucking amazing to see somebody move like you are. Oh my god, I'm like legit, like I feel like oh my god. It's so badass. Anyway, fuck. Ellie, like, thanks for coming on. And I haven't had enough chance to talk to you and talk about what you've done. And it's just badass. We gotta hang out more. We gotta talk more, because I gotta check more boxes. I gotta check more boxes.
Well, I'm right here next to you with every single box. So give me a shout anytime, anything you need help with. I am always here.
I'm about it. We got to talk after this. But thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Ellie. Please follow her at Belly0x, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On X, and check out all the awesome stuff she's doing. And for any bigger accounts watching this, we got fucking work to do.
Hit me up if you want ideas.
She got them.
Thanks so much for having me today.
Thanks. We'll see you next week.